Okay, guys, so let's start our lecture. So this is actually my first lecture for everybody. And with for my first lecture, I would like to explain to you your five we have the five basic sentence patterns. So when it comes to writing your sentences using the language, there are actually five basic patterns that we have to follow. It is important for everybody to know how to construct sentences using the five basic sentence patterns because sometimes, yes, a student can actually write or you can actually write your own sentences, but later on we will try to find out which among the five sentences you usually use. So with that, I guess you have to at least get a pen and paper for you to at least when you follow my lecture, at least you have something to write on it, or you just try simply watching. Then at the end of the lecture, I hope you will learn. So let's start with the introduction. For the five basic sentence patterns, there are actually five, as I have told you. So I will give you at least a clue how you can easily understand them. So the first one is we have what? SIV. So the second one, we can have the STVDO. The third one, you can have your STVIODO. Number four, we can have your STVDOOC. And number five, we can have your SLVSC. So with these acronyms that I gave, so you can actually easily understand them. But teacher, what do you mean by S and what do you mean by IV? So everything, all the S here means subject. But teacher, what do you mean by SIV? So that is actually your sentence pattern is always subject plus what is IV, then that is your what? We call it as your intransitive verb. How about teacher STVDO? So that is of course your subject. So what is TV? So TV, that is your what? That is your transitive verb. And what is DO? Then that is your direct or direct object. How about teacher STVIODO? So we have your subject plus your TV, of course. That is your what? Transitive verb. What is IO? That is your indirect or indirect object. And what's DO teacher? That is your what? Direct object. Now moving on with sentence pattern number four, that is your STVDOOZ. So that is your subject plus of course your TV. That is your transitive verb. And then what is DO? Of course, that is your direct object. And teacher, what is object complement? And what is OC? Of course, I already told it, sorry. That is your object what? That is your object complement. And how about SLVSC? So SLVSC, that is your subject plus what? We have your linking verb plus SC means that is your subject what? That is your subject complement. Okay. Now, teacher, with these five sentence patterns, okay, so how to construct them. But before I will teach you that, look at the board, guys. Your verbs here, we have actually three types of verbs. We have the intransitive verb, then we have your transitive verb, we have your transitive verb, we have the transitive verb, and then we have your what? Linking verb. So it means that we have actually three verbs. We have actually three verbs that we're going to use in writing your sentences. And aside from that, we also have the verb forms, okay? But for now, remember that there are three verbs that we have to use in the five basic sentence patterns. So is this clear, guys? So again, sentence pattern number one is the subject plus intransitive verb. Sentence pattern number two, we have the subject, transitive verb, direct object. Sentence pattern number three, we have the subject, transitive verb, indirect object plus direct object. And sentence pattern number four, We have the subject plus the transitive verb, direct object plus object complement. And sentence pattern number 5, we have the subject plus the linking verb plus subject complement. You can easily remember them, guys, using these clues that I made. We have the SIV, STVDO, STVIODO, STVDO OC, and SLVSC. Guys, when we talk about sentence, sometimes we can easily or we can commonly hear from other people that a sentence says it it is composed of subject and verb. It is so easily to say this, guys, but remember, we have different kinds of verbs. We have intransitive, transitive, and linking verbs. So what verb are you going to use in your sentence? So do you really identify which verb do you have to use? To tell you honestly, a lot of students can use STVDO. With my years of experiences, for 10 sentences, for example, as students write 10 sentences, at least 8 of them are STVDO. So you have to ask yourself, which among the 5 patterns do you usually use? And at the end of the lecture, I want you to simply use all of them correctly and accurately. Okay, so are we okay with this, guys, with the 5 basic sentence patterns? So this is just an introduction of our topic. This is the overview, this is the outline of our topic regarding the 5 basic sentence patterns. Are we okay? Am I too fast? Anyway, you have the video. You can take photo of it or screenshot. So something like that. Okay, so these are the 5 basic sentence patterns. So on my next video, I will explain to you 1, pattern 2, pattern 3, 4, and pattern 5.